Hello there, welcome or welcome. Sorry, welcome back. Oh, my name is Julie. This is a live stream. Um, we are in Durango. You will notice I am a little bit burnt. We've been outside, other than driving, we've been outside pretty much all day, and we explored. Um, well, first in the morning, we went around and explored some things in Ouray, and then once we left there, hi Shatika, thanks for being here. Once we left Ouray, then we ended up exploring Ironton. Yeah, you're gonna just have to dump it out on here. I'm sorry. I'm helping James find the. Oh no, there it is! Yay! Find the Tylenol. Hi Vicky, I'm so glad you're here. So we explored this just amazing ghost town called Ironton, and I went through the different buildings, and anyway, it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Then we left there, drove, and a little ways from there was, I don't know what it was called. No, I do. It was Idorado, that's what it was. Idorado, like mine or whatever. And there was this collection of 4 miners' houses just kind of together. And I guess originally there were 10 of them, but only 4 of them were left. And I went through and explored all of them, and it was really, really cool. And then we headed on our way here to Durango, and we stopped at this. Sorry, didn't turn off my noise. Hold on. There we go. Hi, Melinda. Thanks for being here. So then we stopped at this honey store that we had found last time. In fact, we drove past it, and I was like, wait, that's your honey store. And he's like, oh, I need some honey. So we flipped around and went back and got some honey and some delicious honey caramels and some really yummy honey peanut brittle. And anyway, yummy stuff. And then finally made our way here to our hotel. And now James is working on the bikes because we are going to go ride. Oh, hi, Renee. Thanks for being here. Renee, I'm good. I'm so tired, and I'm a little bit burnt. We had a lot of really good outside time today exploring ghost towns and abandoned neighborhoods from the mining era. So tomorrow we're going to ride bikes. James brought the e-bike for me with the new seat. Well, we bought it over a year ago, and I just haven't used it. And it's like this big cushy bike seat. Hi, Pamela. Thanks for being here. So we're going to try riding the river trail tomorrow. And it's much warmer. Hi, Bonnie. It's much warmer here in Durango than it was in Ouray. So I'm a little nervous about that, but we're going to get out really early, and we'll go and do, and kind of my idea is, like, I don't know. I haven't been on a bike in some time, you know. Hi, Phyllis. I actually got to talk to Fernicus, the cat, yesterday, kind of yesterday evening, and she sounded wonderful. She sounded fabulous. But yes, I do miss her very much. Yeah, Renee, I am a little nervous about it because I haven't ridden a bike in over a year-ish. Yeah, I think so. But we're going to take it easy, and kind of my plan is we'll ride out and, you know, ride for like 20 minutes. And if I feel like, okay, from here I could ride home and be comfortable, then maybe let's do like 10 more minutes. Okay, go and do 10 more minutes. Do I feel like I could ride back to the hotel from here? Yes, but is it starting to get a little dicey? Well, then that means it's time to turn around and go back to the hotel. Or if I'm like, oh, now I'm like all loosened up and I'm feeling good, well, then hell, let's just keep going. You know, that's kind of the idea. And absolute worst case scenario in my mind would be that James would ride his bike back to the hotel, get the car, and come collect me. somewhere, worst case scenario. And so I think it's a great opportunity to see where we're at, see what I can do, and finally make use of this bike seat. And then the reward, besides the time together and being on a bike and following a river trail and encountering other people out and about and just that kind of stuff, enjoying the weather and the morning, is of course to go get coffee. So we've scouted out a couple of places close by where we can go and get some coffee. And at first I was like, oh, we could ride over, get coffee, and then go hit the trail. And then I'm like, absolutely not. Mama's going to need the bathroom right quick after having coffee. So no, that will be our reward at the end. I think it's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah, Renee, I'll be careful. Definitely. And I don't want to be out once it gets warm and hot. Yeah, it's definitely warmer here than in Ouray. Ouray was pretty sunny though, which made it feel warmer, I think. Another nice thing about being here in Durango, even though Ouray is my favorite place on earth right now and is so incredibly beautiful, it is such high altitude. Hi, Rojas. Thanks for being here. It is such high altitude. And so the breathing was definitely tricky for me up in Ouray, depending on what we were doing and stuff like that. So down here, I don't expect that to be an issue. Kind of happy, excited about that. But I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna overdo it. No, and especially because we have so much going on when we get home, what with, funeral, wedding, kids are in school, just life, gardening, everything else, kitty, all those things. So yeah, that's the plan, is we'll ride bikes in the morning and then get coffee. And then Renee, my niece is getting married. Yeah. In fact, I had wanted to have a longer trip for our anniversary, but then we got the invitation for my niece's wedding. And then of course, my grandmother-in-law passed away. And so, everything changed, but, we're getting so much done. And, hi, Olivia, thanks for being here. We are having so much fun and tiring fun. I was saying, like, after yesterday, we took the Jeep. We had rented a Jeep and went up into the mountains, on his side, Renee. We went up into the mountains and I had to hold on to the kind of, oh shit handles, and realized by the time we got back to the hotel last night that my whole body ached, just from holding on, which when you see the crazy videos, you'll understand probably more why, I was so uncomfortable. And then also my hands, when I woke up this morning, I just could not even use my hands. It was very frustrating. And it was from holding on to these handles while we were, doing crazy stuff with the Jeep. So today has been a really good, I've done a lot of out and about walking, a little bit of, hiking type things at these, this abandoned town, or ghost town, and then abandoned neighborhood of miners' houses and stuff. And it's been a very active day, but more of a, I don't know how to explain it, more of a relaxing active day, because it's a different kind of activity. So anyway, definitely not going to overdo it with the bikes. I just want it to be pleasant. I'm not out trying to win a race or anything like that. If I need to stop regularly, I have no problem with that. It's a pleasant trail along the river. We walked a lot of it last year. We walked a nice long distance, and I think it'll be a comfortable place where if I'm going to take a break, then I can plop down and just rest until I'm ready to ride some more. And we'll see how it goes. And then I fully expect that I will be getting some editing done. Lots of editing, finally. I did remember the cord for the laptop this time, so should be able to actually do some editing. And then I also want to write. James knows a bunch of bike trails in the area, and so I'm certain that he'll be doing, some mountain biking and whatnot, which will leave me with some time where I want to start writing again. I also found a cemetery that I want to find and explore, and then a botanical garden, which it turns out is free as part of their library system here in Durango. So I really want to go and check that out. What I do wish was that I had brought my UV umbrella. I didn't even think of it. Like, I guess because Durango, doing this way was like a last minute thing that we decided after things like changed and everything, and our schedule changed. And so I really didn't plan a whole lot out for it and didn't think ahead on much, including the UV umbrella, which would have been really nice. So anyway, I'll make it work. Like, I have hats and I have sunscreen and all that. But I want to go and check out this botanical garden. It looks really cute, looks nice. It's award-winning, and it's free. And then there's a couple of parks and some historic buildings, things like that, where I kind of figure, okay, well, take James to whatever trailhead that he's into, and then I can go and, check out the botanical garden and whatever. And then, okay, now we're going to find whatever thing that we're going to do together. But in the midst of all that, I want to do some writing. Lots of editing, got to do that. And I need to, I want to write some scripts for some videos, because when I get home, we are definitely going to start doing more edited videos, like the Ask Mama videos and things like that here on this channel. And so I do need to get some scripting going. But I also want to write just to write. If you don't know, although I'm sure most of you do, that's what I got my degree in, English with an emphasis on creative writing. I want to write something. It's been a minute. So what am I going to write? I don't know. I think kind of what I want to do is just open up the laptop and just start writing and see what happens. Just start typing and see what comes out, and then kind of pull from all that, kind of sort through whatever ends up, on the screen, and see if there isn't a nugget in there somewhere of something that I want to expound on or explore or whatever. Anyway, I have been reading more on this trip, which has been nice, and that's another thing I plan to do, like at the botanical garden or even just here in our hotel room, to just take some time to read, which of course then gives me inspiration and motivation and all of that for doing some writing. Oh, that sounds delicious, Phyllis. Oh, that sounds so yummy. That sounds lovely. The hot tub was wonderful, Renee. I needed it. Sorry, it's a horrible sound. I need to fill up my water bottle. Friday? What day is today? Today's Monday. Whatever day the 21st is. Like that night. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be like Thursday night. I have this sneaking suspicion that when we get to Sunday, I am going to just absolutely melt into a pile of goo. You know what I mean? That's what I see happening. That is what I see happening. And it's not like we're overdoing it or anything, but with the lag you feel after the drive home, it'll be like a 6 or 7 hour drive home that we'll just have to do nonstop. Not like nonstop, but straight through. And after all the adventures and the doing things and being out in the heat and everything, and then having a funeral and a wedding, I really think Sunday is going to be a day that we like make some amazing cocktails of some kind. I don't know what, but it's going to be good. And it's probably going to involve orange juice, because that sounds so good right now. That just came out of nowhere. Orange juice. Oh, that sounds so good. Like really good kind. What is that kind? It's like in a, well, here in the US, it's in a white carton. What is that called? It's not Minute Maid. Is it Florida's Best or I can't think of what it's called, but it's in a white carton. Tropicana. Is that it? That can't be right, because Tropicana, is that the kind that's good? I think so. I think it's Tropicana. Yeah? Okay. Okay, it's got to be Tropicana then, because I can't think of what else it would be. But that sounds so good. Some just really nice orange juice. And of course, we'd add a little something to it, because of course we would. But that's what I see happening on Sunday. A lot of coffee. So much coffee. A lot of snoozing. A screwdriver. Yeah, that's a great idea, Renee. That is a great idea. But I could also see some mimosas in our future. Like piggybacking some good coffee with mimosas, and then working our way through the day and ending with, a screwdriver here or there. Like, I don't know. I just know it's going to be a day of recovery, because I'm not 25 anymore. Yeah, I don't know if I have any grenadine. No, actually I do. I think I have like a little bottle of it. Let's fill this water. I really need to fill the water. Yeah, that's the other thing. I have not been hydrating enough today, because why? I don't know. Hold on. I gotta set you guys down. Just a sec. Anyway, yeah, I have not, sorry about that noise. That's the air conditioning. I have not been hydrating enough today. Yeah, like a Shirley Temple, Renee, only for mommy. Yeah. And then, of course, I'll need to get caught up on everything with the kids and whatever they've got going on, because they are back in school, So I want to catch up with whatever whatever they've got going on. And then obviously spend some time with Kitty, and hopefully she won't be mad at me again. We'll see. I don't think she will this time, because I think she was most angry at me last time because I took Olivia away. And this time I didn't. So maybe she won't be as mad at me. I don't know. And where I've been talking to her on the phone while I've been gone, maybe she'll be nice. Maybe she won't be so angry. I don't know. I really don't know. But that's kind of the plan. But honestly, just like chilling on Sunday. Yeah, and it's possible, Renee. She might. What a mess. Sorry, guys. This is a day of adventures. Okay, let's talk about the ghost town. Can we talk about the ghost town? So, excuse me. It's called Ironton. And actually, one of the things that I want to write about is this idea I have about houses. I know that sounds kind of general and broad, but bear with me. Houses. I was in these houses today that haven't been lived in ages and ages. Some of them, it's been like 50 years. Others, it's been almost 100 years. And so, hi, Rita. I'm so glad you're here. So a long time since anyone has lived in these homes. And the thought hit me, like, what if someday there are people going through my home the way that I went through these homes today? And I don't know why, but it really like kind of hit me, and got me thinking, but not thinking a whole lot because I was too tired to think much. And then we kept seeing beautiful things after beautiful things on our drive here to Durango. But just that idea, like that, it's kind of like a archaeological kind of a thing, not just archaeological. What is the other word? What is the word? Looking at old civilizations. I took the class on it. What is it called? It's not archaeology. It's the other word. Anthropology? Anthropology. I think. Anthropology. Yeah, I think. And I was thinking about like how we're obsessed with like the past and the way people lived and what they did. And I'm one of those. I absolutely am. But it hit me as I was like in these simple homes and then these fancier homes and these miners' homes that they were just living their everyday life. Like they're just people just like us with a family, trying to live, trying to have something nice, making sure we have food, dealing with whatever life happens to be throwing at us at the time, which in some of these places it was avalanches, lots of avalanches. And what would it be like for, 80 years from now for someone to be going through our house? Which, I mean, in a sense, I am in someone else's house because, I've talked about Jenny many times. But what would that be like? And have you ever thought a thought like that? Like, what if, I don't know, 60, 70 years from now, Rita, someone walks through you and Rick's house, which I got to last month. But that's with you guys there and you living there. What if, it's almost creepy. It's almost a little bit creepy, a little unsettling to think of some people that you don't know and that don't know you are walking through your house, looking in your closet, imagining where you had your furniture, Hi, Imran. Thanks for being here. What would that, I don't know. Hold on, let me do this. What would that be like? What would that feel like? I mean, obviously we'd all be dead, right, by then. And as are these people that lived in these houses. But they were just in there living their day-to-day lives. Having babies, making babies, feeding babies, raising babies. Just daily life. Working, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the yard. And yet we find so much, myself, I really do, and society as a whole, we find so much intrigue and but they were just living lives in a different time, certainly with different tools and different resources, but different technologies, whatever. But they were just regular people living their lives. And yet I can walk through their house and it's so incredibly interesting to me to think, and maybe it is because it was just such a regular life. I don't know. Now I'm thinking about it more. There was a Jack and Jill bathroom in one of the miners' houses. So in this Ida Rod mine situation, they needed houses for the miners and their families. And there was a different mine that had shut down, and this was like in the 30s or 40s, they moved 10 houses from the shutdown mine to this Ida Rod. And now 4 of them remain at this point. And they're nothing like fancy, but anyhow, in this one, upstairs, there's a Jack and Jill bathroom, which just means that there's a bathroom that has doors to 2 different bedrooms. And for some reason, as I'm like walking through what was their bathroom, one bedroom into the other, I was thinking about what that would be like actually living in that situation. Hi, Kathy. I'm so glad you're here. When you share a bathroom like that. So for instance, some time ago, after my divorce, I had, moved in with my sister-in-law. I had moved in with my sister-in-law while my brother was deployed to Iraq. And in their house, it was a Jack and Jill bathroom. It was a very old house. And so there were the 2 bedrooms, and you couldn't get into the bathroom without going through one of the bedrooms, which was inconvenient. And especially then later when I was not living there, and we would have like family dinners and events and what have you at their home, because they had a nice open living room and they were so generous and gracious to host us and all of our minions. There's a lot of people in our family. But to go to the bathroom, you had to go through one of these bedrooms to get to it. And it was awkward, And then even living there much earlier, even when it was just her and me and one baby, it was sometimes awkward because you'd have to make sure that the other door was locked. Otherwise, anyone could pop in on you, And so it kind of, I found myself wondering what it was like in this miner's house with, what I presume would have been, 2 children's rooms sharing this bathroom, and what kind of struggles that, might have caused, what kind of misadventures, what kind of shenanigans and just dynamics that might have created. And those people, I don't know, the children from then. So if we're saying, the 30s and 40s and people that were children then, I would assume, I think it's pretty safe to say that a lot of them are gone now. And obviously their parents, way, way gone by now. But in this house, in these rooms, they were children. And obviously all of us were children. We were children at one point, wherever it was that we lived. And that's also why I wonder why abandoned places interest us so much. I could go, oh no, Kathy, I'm in Durango, Colorado. I could go through someone else's house while they're living there. There's a family, say, living in an average suburban home. I could go through there and not be interested at all in how they're living their life, what they're watching on TV every day, what they put on their toast, what kind of cereal they eat in the morning. I wouldn't be interested. I wouldn't care. But for whatever reason, if nobody lives there anymore, no one at all, it is so much more interesting, and I'm immediately intrigued. Ghost towns, same idea, only more, because the entire town is gone. The people. There are no people. There will be no more people. And there's something different about that as compared to, crossing to the other side of town and going through the Joneses' house. It doesn't catch my imagination or my curiosity. And I don't know why. I don't know. If you can kind of pick up what I'm putting down here, tell me, because I don't know. Yeah, possible, Renee. Yeah. And in fact, likely that they would think, oh my God, how are they living like this? Which, yeah, because, okay, another thing that we saw earlier this morning, we've had a busy day. It's been a busy day. That explains my burnt, frazzled appearance here. Bear with me. But these cabins, we were looking at these cabins, and they were original cabins from like the first people, the first white people settling in Ouray. Yeah, Pamela, the mystery, definitely a huge part of it. Definitely. We're going to explore that some more, I think. But these cabins, and they were furnished. They weren't, I mean, probably not the original furnishings that these people had, right? But anyway, with period furniture pieces and things. And yeah, Renee, I absolutely was like, oh, look, she was cooking everything in this little stove, and, you know, those kinds of thoughts, and oh, that bed, and oh, this, and oh, that, and had to, go out to the outhouse, and oh, her whole living room and kitchen and everything is all right here in this one little tiny room. And was I, as you could hear me just saying just now, like, I don't know if you caught that, but it was all her, she, because obviously I am looking at it through the lens of a wife and mother, what that would have been like for her. And so definitely, hi Julianne, oh, I'm so glad you're here. I'll add it to my list. I will add it to my list. I have no idea when I'll be out there. Definitely not in the hot times, but I will absolutely add it to the list. And I'm so glad you're here. So I do tend to look at it that way, or kind of through that perspective. And yeah, I lament like how difficult their life must have been without a washer and dryer, and a vacuum, stuff like that, air conditioning. So yeah, someone 80 years from now that, I don't know, can fly and regenerate arms and what, I don't know, is going to look at our humble living situation and be like, oh, that poor thing. However did she take care of anyone or anything in those situations? My goodness sake. Are you making fun of me? Are you making fun of me? I'm going to put you in the live stream. Is that what I got to do? Huh? You guys, there's this guy here in my hotel room who's got bikes turned upside down and working on tires and bike chains and God knows what else. And he was laughing at me just now. And if it weren't for the fact that he's so delicious and I adore him so much that I'm here with him on our 20th wedding anniversary trip, ooh, I would just push over one of his bikes. But the problem is the one he's working on is the one I'm going to be riding in the morning. So anyway, what a dork. Am I a little dramatic sometimes? Yes, I'm a little bit dramatic. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, for reals. And now they're all saying hi to you, my love. You could do, the bare minimum and just say hi back. Come on. Now he's pretending he doesn't hear me. Oh, what a fruitcake. Anyway, my fruitcake though, so. But anyhow, things to think about. And it's definitely what I've been thinking about and kind of what I want to write about. Just, I don't know. I want to explore that more. Why we get so intrigued, so enamored with whatever from before. And why we feel a need to have like a connection to the past. And to walk where other people walked and to imagine what this was like and what that was like and whatever. Oh, something. Oh my goodness. Oh no. So in Ironton, which was the ghost town, there was a fancy house left. There were several houses, and then a bunch of outbuildings, barns, houses that had completely collapsed. But there was a fancy house, and you could tell, oh, this was one of the fancy houses in town. These ones, they were doing all right. They had, what do you call it, like fabric wallpaper, kind of like a canvas, like a canvas wallpaper, and in every room, wallpaper. Now, of course, a lot of it was like hanging and a mess, all a mess. But you could tell, especially because like in a couple of rooms, it was even on the ceiling. This like canvas wallpaper was even on the ceiling in some of the rooms. This was a fancy house. It had bay windows, and anyway, when you see what it looks like now, you know, it's you have to really use your imagination. But if you look at those little details of things like wallpaper, oh my goodness, they were well-to-do in their little town, their little boom town. And that creates this whole other thing in my mind, in my imagination, of what that must have been like, and the dynamics there. Who were they, and who were they in the town, and were they kind? Were they snobby? Did they let their kids play with all the other kids? Like, were they benevolent? They obviously had fancy things, this fancy like canvas wallpaper in the middle of these mountains that are above 10,000 feet, where there's snow 3/4 of the year. But somehow they had this canvas wallpaper. Oh, and then not only that, and I wasn't going to tell you because I wanted to save it for the video, you know, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I, of course, snuck up the stairs. I don't think there was a problem with that. There were no signs saying that I couldn't. It was one of those judgment calls. I didn't go all the way up the stairs because, in one of the houses, because it got a little sketchy towards like the top, like 4 or 5 stairs. And so I just like peeked up as best I could because it was way too sketchy. But I believe it was in the fancy house. Well, one of them. Anyway, on the stairs, you could see that they had carpeted the stairs, and there were these beautiful, I don't know if they're called grommets or what they're called, tacks, these like really fancy little metal carpet tacks that were used to tack in the carpet on the runners of the stairs. And it was so wild to me that, like, if you saw it, which you will see the place because I will show you. But you're out in the middle of nowhere. Like, you are out in the middle of nowhere. And even then, it would have been in the middle of nowhere, up high in the mountains. Julie N., I have not checked email in a minute. And I probably won't check email again until we get home, which will be this weekend. But I will check. And so the only way that stuff like that could get to them was on the train, when they did eventually get the train coming through. And before the train, I mean, mules, because even horses, it would have been tricky because of how high they were. So mules, or by foot, I mean, obviously they got it to where they could get wagons in there, but that would be during certain times of the year, you know, because they were so high up, and the snow and the whatever. Anyway, and yet this woman, and yes, I say this woman because the woman ran the home, you know what I mean? And because that was her place. That was, women weren't out, you know, being architects or whatever. Anyway, so she had fancy wallpaper. And I wonder about her, who she was, and if she wanted to be out there, and if she had a choice about being out there. I don't know. I don't know. But she had fancy wallpaper. Or, in the other one, carpeted stairs. Like, and then there was in this other one, you could see that there had been like layers of wallpaper. And that was so cool. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, bummer, Julie. Yeah, Vernal is like hell and gone from our neighborhood in Utah. That would be hours and hours of a drive. Whereas last time where you and I were able to meet up was way more doable. It was still a drive, but it was far more doable. If you're ever traveling through like the middle of Utah again, let me know. We can definitely do that. I've been out to Vernal, to Dinosaur National Monument, and it was really cool, but it's just not a place that we go very often because it's really far away and hot. Very hot. Yeah. But I hope you have a wonderful time and be safe. So anyhow, I did a lot of exploring today and a lot of kind of dreaming and imagining and wondering. And I know these are just buildings, just wood and nails and maybe some glass. And no, Julianne, that's not the route. We will go through southeastern Utah, like Moab, Utah. Sorry, I cannot get comfortable. I'm so sore. Anyway, so I'm thinking about houses. I'm thinking about houses. And like, they're just buildings. But what makes them interesting is like the people that lived in them and what they did with them. Does that make sense? Like even the architecture and the design and the details, well, that was all because of someone. And so the house itself as an object is not like the most interesting thing for me. It's the people that lived there, their life, their struggles, their triumphs, their love, their loss, their happiness, their sadness, all of that is what's interesting to me. Yeah, so I want to think more about that, and I want to write about it, and I want to talk about it, and I want to, I don't know, figure it out. Kathy, what do you mean I'm not moving? On your phone. Am I buffering? Does the video need to refresh? You tell me. Because on my end, it looks normal. Ooh, Julianne, I haven't been to Pueblo yet. Oh, it was your phone, Kathy? Okay, good. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad it sussed out. You said the comments are not moving. Let me see. They seem to be fine on my end. Maybe refresh it. But yeah, on my end, it looks to be doing fine. But anyway, God, what was I going to say? Yeah, that's probably true, Julianne. That's probably true. But anyway, which actually, I really am happy for that, because normally I'm trying to keep up with comments, and you guys know it is so difficult for me to keep up. So this is kind of a nice change of pace. Oh, thank you, Rita. I appreciate that. Anyway, I'm going to call it a night now. James would like me to call it a night. And so I'm going to do that. He got the bike all set up, all shined up. I think he's still got to work on the other so that tomorrow morning we can get out and ride. Me on a bike. Me on a bike. It's been a minute, but we're going to give it a try. We're going to give it a try. We're going to see how it goes. Wish me luck. Oh, hi, Lab. Thank you. Yeah, wish me luck. It's going to be an adventure. Hopefully a really good one. And even if not, well, then it'll be an interesting one or a funny one or something like that. Anyway, okay, you guys, I need to go take a shower. I need to rest. And then on to tomorrow's adventure, and I will absolutely catch you guys at some point tomorrow. Okay? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for spending some time. Thank you for your love and your kindness. And for listening to my thoughts. And if you have any more thoughts about that, please do share them in the comments when this posts, because I'd love your insights, because we're going to talk more about houses and what they mean and why they mean. And I got to think more. I might need some libations and some time to think and try to pull kind of all these thoughts together that are like in my head. I think that's what I need. And yeah, just to rest and chill for a while and try to pull it all together. Make it a little more coherent. But we'll get there. Anyway, there I go again. Okay. Have a good night. Bye.